Well, I think we're live right now. We can
We're
stop
killing
dancing
it.
to our
We're
own
going
intro
now.
music. This is awesome.
We just go into it.
Awesome.
Killing it. Woo.
Hi, welcome to episode we lost count of Sips and Software.
We're definitely in the low hundreds still, but in our hearts, we're in the first thousandths.
I feel like we've always been together
Yeah.
throughout time. It's more of a multiverse thing, you know?
This show really does transcend time and space. And
As the universe
And the internet.
expands, it also contracts right back to this show.
right, so
Destiny is what we call it.
Sands of an hourglass.
These are the days of our time. Days of our lives.
Yeah, the days of our lives, of course.
One of the best soap operas ever.
Did you just say days of our times?
and this is 60
Fast
minutes.
times at Ridgemont
Yeah.
High.
So
Which
earlier
is about time travel.
we were jamming out to a little computer love earlier.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the real song.
Careful, careful.
I didn't know that was a real song.
Sips and spills.
Sips and Spillsware. I know where you can get that iPhone fixed. Don't worry about it. Welcome to Sips and Software, a weekly podcast, YouTube, Twitch show where we talk tech and drink beer and sometimes spill it. So,
Often spill it.
but yeah, we have introspective views on people with ins in the tech industry, mainly me. You like that? This week we have a couple interesting things on deck. I think one of the first stories we should talk about is: did you know that the state can kick out an actual company from use? Spectrum just got kicked out of
New York. The entire state of New York.
through
yeah.
federal regulators.
So the quick rundown on the story is basically this. When Charter bought Time Warner Cable, New York had a clause built
Anti-monopoly
in that
clause?
said that they had to extend service to several not well-served communities in a timely fashion. They put time dates on it.
Right.
Consistently, all of the goals that New York State set for Spectrum to hit, they did not hit. They always had an excuse.
Were they unachievable?
No, of course not.
They were
Listen,
achievable.
when you got cable companies shelling out billions of dollars
Here you go. I just
to
remembered.
fight net neutrality, clearly they got enough money to extend service to a couple thousand households.
Is it society or governments? Should it be their decision on what companies do with their profits? Should they be
if-
told what to allocate their funds to?
Well, if broadband is considered a utility versus just a service, then yeah.
So Northwestern Energy can't give money back to its co-op or what? Like
No, it
they
totally
have to
can, but
go back into infrastructure.
But let's say Northwest Energy wants to buy Montana Dakota Utilities. That's a pretty big purchase. It's going to cut down, opportunities or competition and various things, right? So the state says, okay, well, we'll let you do that, but you also have to extend your services to these like several thousand impoverished places that doesn't make economic sense to do, but you're going to make so much money with this merger and acquisition
You're
that
saying
we
it's
just
part-
want these people
it's
to have
part of a
some service.
contract?
It's part of a contract. And as a capitalist, you would agree that a contract that you sign should be upheld by you.
Yeah, if they're I mean, if they're not coerced, if these aren't terms that they're forced to assign to, then sure.
Yeah. Well, they're
I mean,
forced to
it's-
assign to them.
Well, I mean, in this, what I'm saying is that in this case, are they saying that because they wouldn't expand, they're kicking them out, or are they saying they're in breach of an agreement?
They're in breach of an agreement. That in order for New York to ratify them buying Time Warner Cable, which operated in New York State, that they had to also extend out their services to other places in order to keep that. If they failed to uphold their end of that contract, then New York had the option to cancel the ratification of the merger.
Chase smells bullshit.
In which case here, they did not make the threshold that they promised the state of New York that they would reach. And so New York said, all right, then we're not going to certify it anymore. And so now they have to sell off and spin off their Spectrum service in New York State.
One of their biggest markets. So, and this leads into, you can't hear my mic, but this leads into, you take a look around, the people that didn't want this merger to go through, you can start saying this and you can take pieces away.
No.
Yes.
No, these were agreements ahead of time. These were agreed upon amounts and levels
Terms
that
of the original agreement.
in order before they bought Time Warner Cable, New York said, "Okay, but we'll only do this if you reach these thresholds." And Charter said, "Okay." And 4 times Charter did not meet the benchmark goals in order to reach the goal. And 4 times they said, "Well, we're getting there. No, we're reaching it."
No.
You know?
God, can you imagine getting kicked out of a state? That's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
what if my business was just like, oh, no, you're not allowed in the state of Montana? What? What a weird.
Well, it's like a chain liquor store trying to open in Utah. Like,
I just. What?
Well, it's like a chain liquor store trying to open in Montana too. I mean, I mean, they have control. It's like any alcohol thing. Alcohol's controlled like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what I think. It seems very odd to me that they can kick, like, one state can kick these people out, but they can operate perfectly fine in another state. Like, they're obviously not pulling their lines out of the ground.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. Like, it's
They're not pulling out of people's houses the cable and stuff. Like, what does this mean? Just
they're not taking an established business and saying that they Spectrum didn't start in New York. If Spectrum started in New York, it would have been a totally different story. Spectrum's trying to buy into New York, buy the only provider for those lines there, and so New York, I
do
think,
like
has
states' rights.
New York has an obligation, I think, to its people to protect the one competition on these one publicly accessible lines.
Good for states' rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Governor Cuomo of New
No
York.
more federal government.
Dad.
Yeah.
down with the government.
Next story.
So, next story.
Governor Cuomo.
Praise the Queen.
Socialists are upset that cops are owned by the government and thinks they should be reined in by other socialist government things.
Here's what I don't agree with. Socialists believe that Donald Trump should be the only one allowed to have a gun in America because they want guns taken away from everybody else. They want the
Where's
second.
this stemming from exactly?
The
'Cause
second-
I'm a
if-
socialist, and I don't think that.
If we abolish the Second Amendment,
we shouldn't abolish. The
Listen, I
second.
think we can all agree that science can be wrong sometimes.
that's true. Science can be wrong sometimes. Okay, Asher.
Lied to me. You said they were all here.
Asher, let's.
All
I
I'm
gotta
getting
have,
is science is wrong, and only Donald Trump should have a gun. What is going on right now? This is a very upside down conversation.
Collusion is not a crime.
Yeah, let's keep
Collusion
moving those
is not a
goalposts
crime.
backwards.
Put it this way. Let me put you in a hypothetical situation. Let's say you and Donald Trump are going to the movie this weekend, and you want to go and pay, and you want to use your movie pass, and you
Yes.
want to go see Mission Impossible Fallout. This
Here,
week.
it's really good.
It's
by
the
the way.
greatest Mission Impossible, Patrick.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
By
And
the
you get
way,
there-
Hold my
really,
tiny hands. Let's
And
go.
you get there, and you use your movie pass, and all of a sudden, movie pass doesn't work. What are you going to do then?
Buy a ticket.
But you paid for movie pass. It's unlimited movies per month.
well,
Okay,
if
I buy a
your
ticket
movie-
and then figure out the problem afterwards. But
No.
I'm there for the movie. I'm not
No,
going to be like,
what you
well,
do is
fuck.
you get
I
on
need a
Twitter.
manager. I
No.
need someone from here.
You
I
get on
need-
Twitter and you rage about it. That's what a lot of people did this weekend.
Well, yeah. So MoviePass shuts down over the weekend for at least a few hour period.
He does a good.
For yeah, he does do a good film. So. Yeah. So there is MoviePass shuts down because they literally ran out of money.
Their bank account was zero.
Was $0, so they could not put the money.
A multi-million-dollar company's bank account.
How
went to
MoviePass
zero.
basically works? You pay a subscription model. You get like kind of a special kind of
They
debit card.
overdrafted their account.
Right, so the special kind
$35
of
fee.
the special kind of debit card when
By
you go
$1
to sign up for a movie,
million.
you go to a movie, you tell them that you're there, and then when you say in the app that you're there and you're going to go see this movie, they put the money on this special debit card to buy the ticket, and they ran out of money.
How many people work at MoviePass? Do you think?
Very little.
so
What,
Asher,
what does this have to do with socialism and cops and stuff? I'm very confused. Or did we disregard that whole conversation? I'm trying to.
We all agree Donald Trump should be the only one allowed to have guns.
All right. So
We're moving on to the next thing.
Okay.
The next thing is that MoviePass. Okay, so Asher, how many people work at Movie Pass probably. Is it,
4,000.
you think it's that many people?
No,
So-
I think it's probably a lot less. It's
So-
probably a few hundred.
So let's
few
say they
hundred
have
people.
they have a CEO and they have a CFO.
They got a CEO. They have a CFO.
Okay, in big companies like that, who actually sees the bank account every day? Like who looks at a bank account every day?
Should be the CFO.
The CFO of a big company should
Should.
look at. So the way I'm understanding this story is that there was basically one operating account that had all the money in, and it was just letting people who had authorized funds through the Movie Pass go through there, and it just kept
Yep.
going until the account literally ran to zero. There was no
zero.
backup. There was no.
There was
there was no
none.
backup. There was no like recurring loan with the bank, an operating loan to make sure that there would always be enough people to pass through. Or
I'm gonna have to double check. I remember that there was some established protocol for that, but the bank that they use for their checking account had like some kind of like thing that needed to be signed off that they warned MoviePass about a few times that they needed to do, otherwise their funds would be cut off, and MoviePass didn't get it done.
Yeah, Mike, that's fake news. I got the real story here.
All right,
do you think? Do you think?
No, that is absolute fake news, Asher. I just got the real story here. The
Lay it
real
on me.
story is their
You don't need to lean
CFO
in.
was out at the club that weekend in Miami. He had 2 cards in his wallet. They were both for MoviePass. He took the one that was supposed to pay for all
This
of
is our
everyone's
live
movies.
CNN correspondent.
And he
on
used
scene.
that to do the private dances, the crystal, the strippers, hookers, limos,
All of them.
everything. So it was just a mix-up of credit cards. That is the real news.
You think it was a casual mistake? Casual mistake.
casual mistake.
Do you think?
Casual mistake.
Credit card mistake.
Patrick,
Casual mistake. Let's
Patrick,
get it
do you think
trending.
somebody just forgot to go do a cash drop that weekend?
Bullshit.
Do you think this could have? Do you think this can be fixed by a simple change in company strategy, or do you think this is never going to work?
So MoviePass basically came out today, and they said they're going to increase monthly subscriptions to $15 a month. They are going to black out new movies. Certain new movies will be blacked out.
Lots of strippers.
Chase, sorry you couldn't go see your movie this weekend, but to compensate, I'm going to raise your fees, and you can't go see any new movies. But feel free to go see any old 2D movies on any Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, like again, as someone who goes to a movie maybe once a year, movie passes is so irrelevant. Like,
That's weirdo.
I'm going to get AMC Club movies now.
Oh, their rival.
The Rival. Yeah,
The
AMC
Rival.
came out with their own subscription model
Good for
that
them.
is basically like MoviePass. It's more expensive. I think it's like 30
But it's
or 40 bucks a
made
month
by
or
the
something
same
like that.
company who owns the theaters.
Yeah,
so
they own the theaters, and they're selling it for their own theaters.
Yeah, it'll never have a problem.
Yeah, so you have a lot of the same benefits that you get for a Stub Club premium membership, the cheaper popcorn, the cool stuff like that.
why can't Steam just come out with a program where they say you pay $15 a month and you get a bunch of free games?
Good guy, Steam.
month.
Like,
Talking about-
never,
Nice.
never putting pre-roll ads.
Because I'm not a movie guy, but I
in.
play lots of games, so
How about-
I want a service like this.
What
for
if
games.
what if you pre-order the Galaxy Note 9 coming out next week, and you got
It's coming out next week?
or announced next week,
Oh,
and you got Fortnite on it,
Fortnite's free.
but you'll get 30 days for the new premium access to the new premium stuff. If Chase wants to bring up the story, it's the Galaxy Note 9 is going to.
Ross is right here. You want to use it?
The Galaxy Note 9 is
Show you how it's
Unpacked event. Samsung's Unpacked event is coming out next week. And they're talking about Fortnite being an exclusive to a phone. Now, I don't know.
Wait, are they trying to make it so that Fortnite is exclusive on Android for the Note 9 and no other Android phone? Because that'd be bullshit.
So
That's
the
what
way
they're
I
doing.
read the story is that the new update to Fortnite will be available to the Galaxy Note 9 people for I think 30 days. Yeah, here's the story.
Well, that's bullshit. Because yeah, everybody who plays Fortnite and has an Android phone
He didn't even know.
anxiously
Look at this.
awaiting.
We just lit a
Fortnite
bomb.
on Android, and now they're gonna do this bullshit.
Scroll down. I want to ingest this story so
What is this?
deliciously.
here. I'm gonna let you pair
They Are Billions. No, Dustin is me. I have not played. It's on Steam.
Is that a game?
over here.
It's a game on Steam.
Yeah, so it's
They
one
Are
of those
I've seen it
battle
actually.
royale
That
games.
real time strategy looks cool. I'll check it out. Yeah.
It may be exclusive to the brand new Samsung.
That's
this month.
that's bullshit.
Bullshit. Fake news.
It's
Fake news.
Not bullshit as in it's not real, but the bullshit that it's happening. Fuck.
Yep. So August 9th is Samsung's Unpacked event, and they're going to talk about how. Yeah. So this is the way I understood it: that it will get like exclusives like in-game cash, but I didn't think it was only going to be exclusive for just the game itself.
But still, just promoting like in-game economy for having that one phone, like that's annoying.
It's also going to skip the Play Store, too.
And it's-
You have to
Yeah, I
download
heard about
directly.
And it's going to be precedent on devices now. Apple's going to pair with the next big Candy Crush.
That's ingenious. If you ask me, looking at it from a marketing perspective, how do you get in front of the most eyeballs? And how do you?
I mean,
They're thinking
Fortnite's
about-
the biggest game in the world right now. Yeah.
Samsung's looking with their second quarter that was absolutely abysmal. Samsung's second quarter, I mean, they're fucking in all kinds of damage control.
Well, but who's really going to be interested in the Note 9 to begin with, though? I mean, we've got
South
the
Koreans.
we've got the Samsung Galaxy X
That's what
rumored
they're
next
going for.
year.
This is Samsung going to Fortnite looking for help.
Right, yeah. This is damage control. This is damage control.
This is Samsung going to Fortnite.
Using that cash as a bully and saying,
We want to be in front of your millions of users, and we want to entice them with $150 of in-game cash to use the Note 9. That's all this is. This is a marketing ploy by Samsung.
Interesting.
Now that's
$150 worth of
That's what
V-Bucks?
the story said.
Wow. I might be buying a Note 9 just for them V-Bucks, boys.
The
There,
V-Bucks.
that's what they want.
see,
That's what Samsung's paying for.
Chi-
They're paying millions.
we were having this exact conversation about upgrading phones this cycle, and I am going on a notch boycott. I will not buy a next
Yeah,
gen
you see
phone.
the Pixel 3 is going to have a notch?
Yeah, Pixel 3 Lake shows a notch on it.
I will not buy a phone with a notch, so I'm going on a boycott. If that means I have to wait.
You mean you're not buying the iPhone 10 too?
No,
Yes and no.
no. We'll get one for the store. But I'm saying my personal daily driver, I think I'm going to wait until the S10 comes out because the S10
Galaxy X.
Foldable screen.
No, I don't want the
There's two
foldable
different
screen.
phones.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's going to be two different phones.
S10 and Galaxy X.
I don't think the foldable screen. It looks like it's an unbreakable display.
I don't know. Have you heard? Like, there's the rumor that it's going to go all the way around the phone, like be on both sides. That's one rumor I saw.
Interesting.
That's why I don't want to get the Note 9. But if I do have a phone and it has notches, it has to be limited to.
Yeah,
Just
that
to-
story is basically saying that Google is throwing down the gauntlet and saying we will only support 2 notches.
Did
on
you
a
see
phone.
this?
What phone? Yeah, I did see this article, but what phone has more than 2 notches? Yeah, Kyle's
Your
raising
phone?
his hand for the
You have
audio
a phone with
listeners.
2 notches?
Any phone.
Does that include the chin
new
at the bottom?
new phones coming out with peripherals. I think phones that have like the.
Like the ROG, the ROG game.
That's your pipe in top right corner. I want your voice to notice that.
Yeah, we've been talking to him.
Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
no,
stupid screen
so
on both
what I'm
sides.
thinking is when
No, it's
peripherals
not
like
dumb.
the Asus ROG phone, when you put stuff on the bottom and say anything that covers the screen, they'll want it to be like it won't have a notch, but if I plug something in that does cover the screen, it'll like make it a cutout so it won't be blinded.
What this
They'll-
article is saying though is that it won't allow you to do it on the long edge at all. Like Android will only support notches on the short edges, 1 notch on each short edge. Why? Because they don't want freaking 1,000 different devices notches coming into the phones that they have to support.
Why don't they just do this one big thing and let the company say, hey, this is how much we're going to use? What do they do?
I want to argue. I want to argue with.
They would let them down their phones to the fucking. This is what
All right, we're going to talk about
I want to argue with Dustin a minute, though.
yeah, the phone on the screen on the other
'cause
side.
I don't think it's
Yes.
actually. I don't
with
think it's
you.
dumb.
No, I'm with you.
So here's the reasoning why. So
I never thought about it that way. That's interesting.
the reason why they want to fold the display
it folds
around.
out so it looks like there's.
So the reason they want to fold it around is already both Samsung, Google, and Apple are coming up with ways to make the chin at the bottom of the phone smaller, but no matter what, there's this flex connector at the bottom of the LCD that has to plug into the board. So they already have the screens folding a little bit. They already have the technology. The LCD is already doing that. This extends that so there is absolutely no chin at the bottom of the phone. It can fold all the way around to halfway up the back. And what this also allows you to do is to have a full screen at the front, nothing at the top, no chin, no notch, no nothing. And you don't need a front-facing camera anymore. You can take a selfie with your back camera and have the display on the back of the phone.
Yeah, you can totally
That's awesome.
just take the phone and do this backwards and be able to see what you're pointing the camera at. You only need one camera then. It's a good camera every single time.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Mr. Naysay over here, just like, it's like no, Movie Pass is full of shit, and this is fucking stupid. 2 screens.
The question is movie.
Who gives a fuck? I'm looking at the front of my screen. I don't care about looking at the back of my phone.
Well, I need 2 screen protectors. Touche. Touche, Dustin. Touche.
What's the difference? Honestly, no, I'm with you. I'm going to take this. What's the difference? What's the difference then?
My phone over to take a selfie. That's the difference.
Oh no!
Oh,
Look, I have to
do
turn my
this.
phone over.
Oh my God.
You say that now. You say that now. But when you start using it to turn your fucking phone over to do a Snapchat selfie and then turn it back over to fucking type or stay back there to type, you don't like.
You don't have to. No, you got the screen here.
Because you can type like this, or you can tell
How
like
small the screen is back there. You don't like something like this. I guarantee you, this fucking false. This is why Samsung is failing. They are fucking.
This is not why they're failing. This is.
So how do you innovate from the status quo then, Chase? I mean, because we haven't innovated in phone design at all.
You don't. You just let it be
You
alone.
don't innovate. You just.
Let me put it this way: the design. I think we've settled on the design. I think we've pretty much settled on a couple sizes. People like at one time we thought phones were going to be absolutely small and on your phone.
Oh, I disagree, man. We're getting to the point where we got innovation is going to be once displays can be anything. Oh yeah, because what you're thinking about is how you interact with the phone. We thought talking to devices is going to be so terrible. It's going to get a lot better. It's going to get a lot better. Air typing, multi-touch devices are already getting there to where you'll be able to just tap the device and you'll be able to type like this just by sensors on it.
Okay, see, I can go with the keyboard on the back.
Or a keyboard, a virtual projector. They'll be able to put.
I'll go with your keyboard on the back idea. That's actually a fucking great idea. So as you're holding the phone, being able just because we learned
The Asus Razer phone has 10 points of ultrasonic contact coming out on its new phone. It has virtual buttons, so it doesn't have a real button, but it can sense where you are, so you can literally do that with 10 points of contact on that phone.
That's innovation.
Virtual buttons. You can remap these buttons to do anything too. So I mean, the innovation is out there. I think the idea of your folding phone is interesting. If you could fold it back though, so if like say you had like a Kevlar back and it folded this way so it was fully enclosed, so it was a self case, but then when you wanted it, you folded it back and it was a dual screen phone, or you folded it out and it was a full rectangle.
I don't even necessarily like the idea of that, and that's just the concept. It's not proven to be what the actual phone is, but we know that they're going to be using their patented folding display.
I'm trying to see the front camera. See, people are forgetting. No.
Doesn't need to shut off. It's all one screen.
And it's not going to, I think the sensors are going to get so good you don't need Face ID and stuff. It's going to just know when it's on you.
But for me, I want a phone that's like this. That's small like that. And then you can do this. Like for a folding phone, that's what I want to see. Something that does this for its design. And then boom, I've got a big display here for media consumption or for something like that. Otherwise, boom, little phone.
That makes sense. When I think of going phone, that makes sense to me.
But you would allow more notches.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Dustin. Having it like a tablet where you
He's
can
a
give
notch libertarian
and stuff too. Yeah. A tablet would be really cool. So like if you had like a dual like tense tablet with one screen that was foldable, you fold it down, you can see both sides of it. So you can touch on this on my presenter side and affect what's being displayed on the other side. A presentation mode would be kind of cool.
I'm more down to just the simple thing of folding up to size of this phone and just having a 4-way fold, unfolding a screen that 4 times its size.
I'm all for what I'm for is not stifling people from trying new things.
Dude,
I'm a capitalist.
augmented reality.
And I'm telling you right now,
Your communist comments that there's only one way to design something.
Yeah, are you against innovation?
yes. I'm against stupid innovation. I'm against
I don't even
stupid
want.
screen
Here's
with
what.
a
Here's what I
phone.
want. I want to put my contact in, and I want a virtual phone everywhere. I want it just up, so
Yes.
I just go boop, 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 boop,
Here-
in the air, and it
that-
goes right to
Jason,
my thing.
That's the innovation I want.
I want the virtual little heads-up display when I get to work.
Innovation. I don't want a rapid-
Chase's blood pressure's high.
I will.
Don't
I
talk
will,
to Chase right now.
I will agree with Chase on one point here. I think
Donald Trump is the greatest president.
No, I will say it's stupid to have these like weird
Notch
innovations
wars.
that are weird
Notch
and
wars.
different and charge $1,000 for the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
well,
if
yeah.
you want to do some crazy concept phone, cool.
Yeah.
But don't make it $1,000.
I mean, the Asus has a new phone that's interesting. Yeah, I find it very upsetting that iPhone comes out with this notch. We all like rail on the notch, and then there's 20,000 phones with a notch. That really bothers me.
That iPhone owns 25%
In the market share.
of the market share. That iPhone alone owns 25% of the market share. And that's as of today.
Not worldwide.
Yeah, of the market share worldwide.
No,
Yes.
no.
I think Chase.
Fuck yourself. 'Cause I just read that a little while
It's impossible. There's no way.
ago. It's possible, he said.
No, it's impossible.
That the iPhone 10 owns
They don't even sell the
25%.
iPhone 10 in China.
that's China.
But they
It's a
also,
billion people.
and fucking,
It's 4 United States.
One monoculture.
use fucking ZTEs,
All those people.
which are banned in the fucking U.S. Who everybody has one.
I know.
Give me some. No.
It's market share. It's market share.
Give me an argument. Come on.
Yes.
So
Dustin's with
ZTE.
me. A virtual phone. You just have a little like little floating thing that you can make the display that big or whatever, and you're just like boop, 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 boop.
Sounds like a
Obviously,
Black
that's-
Mirror
we want,
episode.
like right next to you, floating all the time, and you're just gonna see people going like
I
this.
know.
This is how you're gonna see people walking down the street. It'll be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, AR glasses are that's the real phone. AR glasses, and that's your display. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
contacts
all
though.
contact.
Fuck
But
glasses.
there's people like me. who
Cyborg
can't-
implants.
I can't
Would you
do
get an
this.
implant?
I can't.
Oh,
do
totally
that.
would. Totally would.
Can't do that.
A robot could.
Everybody, just listen. Google already knows everything about me at this point. That not getting an implant is just stupid. If my entire life is on the internet and everybody knows everything about me, I might as well just give them direct access and then get a benefit of having a computer in my brain.
Would you really want the internet to have access to your entire thought process? Though?
Doesn't it basically?
Depends on how much you post on Facebook.
Lee, when
I don't
when
think-
you
I
hear
don't
the
think
outlook
computers
for
are
the
anywhere
fourth
close
quarter,
to understanding
60 to
people. There
62
are too
billion
many
dollars in
phenomena. If
revenue
computers could
and gross
understand
margin
how
of
people
38
think,
to
then we would have the
38.5%.
dangerous
Can you
computers in
read
our life
into
right
that
now.
in terms
Yeah,
of what Apple's
humans
thinking
are
and
too
planning on when it comes to the
absolutely
release of the
disparate
next
to
iPhone
have
cycle?
one mono
basically right in
thought
line with numbers.
AI
It's a
that
little bit
can
above, the
understand and
SMI's
operate
consensus, or the
because people
midpoint
from
of
different
their
cultures.
guidances. As I said before, I think the best thing here is that
Okay,
gross
well,
margins
all
guidance
right.
number.
Here's what I will concede. I will
That's
concede
where
to
I think
you
people get a
that if
little
we
bit
go
worried
by
at
the
bottom of
metric
cycle.
of profit dollars,
John Butler, Bloomberg
that
Intelligence, what's
they
standing
could
out to you
potentially
when
have
you-
25% of the profits.
Impeach 45.
Maintaining iPhones at a volume
Maxine Waters.
plummeting Chinese market.
Nancy Pelosi. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Huawei.
She's my bitch.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Everything's dropping except Apple in the Chinese market.
Okay, talk about new phones. That color gradient on that new Huawei is so amazing.
No, that's beautiful.
I'm
That
so
is
happy
beautiful.
they're getting away from just like pretty bland phones.
Wait, what is that?
Okay, so this is the Huawei P20 Pro. This is the phone, the first
oh my
phone.
God, you actually said it correctly. Wowie, wowie.
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
offensive to say people's languages correctly.
No,
Jeez, coming from the communists.
No, I just get all these like customers who have a Huawei phone or Huawei like I've got a Huawei or a Huawei like just calling it different stuff. I'm impressed.
I'm just pressed. It has a different color gradient, and it's the first phone with the triple camera. To do it correctly, it has a higher. It got a higher rating than the Pixel 2 and the iPhone 10 in that company that they all like, that Dot Pixel company, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so got a higher rating. NKBHD did a review of it, only in super still photos with good light did it actually look good. But anyways, the point of the phone is that they're going with a little bit different of a look. That color gradient has this glossy sheen on it that looks up to, I think it's up to 4 different colors it can look like based on what lighting looks at it.
Just like
And
the
your mood.
angle, the perspective. Ooh, your mood. Yeah, a mood ring phone. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Look, we're innovating over here, Chase. Be careful.
Uh-oh. Stifle it with regulation. Uh-oh. We better make a law about this. Stifle it
It
with
can
regulation.
only be blue or pink.
Right. The crowd only approves of neutral colors. Bah. Ice sheep. Bah.
Does the Huawei P20 have the squeezable sides?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is that such a popular feature now?
Because it's useful.
Good point.
Describe the squeezable sides for us, Carl.
The squeezable side is a feature. Most people think the Face ID is the fastest way to look at your phone. You can be self-conscious sometimes when you're around people asking for your Google Assistant because it sounds subservient sometimes. And I find just clicking my phone and waking it up and asking it what's the weather works a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It's quick. I grab it, I pick it up, it's the same pressure as picking it up. It's not like I have to squeeze it. It's pretty much just picking it up.
He doesn't even have to squeeze it. He just.
iPhone X, I push the button on the side and looks in my face and it fucking opens.
I don't have to open it. Look,
I don't even
I don't-
have a passcode on my phone.
I don't even have to open it.
You could get right
I can
into
face
my
away
Grindr
and do
account.
it.
Look, all I have to do is do this to take a selfie.
Yes!
Stay topical, Asher. Good
Yes!
job.
That's innovation.
Yeah, right?
Turn your phone around and take a selfie.
Leading-
Now you understand me.
I think
Leading
you guys
tech
did.
expert.
I think you guys missed Dustin's comment a little bit earlier, where he said if you
which
get
one,
implants, you can get premium dreams eventually.
snap.
That's a clever comment. I have to point that out.
Yeah.
Premium dreams.
Pay for premium dreams. Yep. No ads.
Here's what I would like. If they could hack
would
my
be great,
dreams,
yeah.
I would love to just be able to play out another reality in my dreams.
I'd rather just keep watching the Netflix show I was watching while I'm dreaming.
Yeah, you can binge watch.
You mean I'm not dreaming?
I think this is purgatory.
Fuck!
All I want to say is that according to Q1 in 2018, Samsung had 20.5% market share compared to Apple's 14.1.
What? One more time.
Samsung had 20.5% market share Q1 of 2018.
Quarter 2. Give me quarter 2. Fuck, give me quarter 1.
You said the iPhone 10 had 25% of the market share, not Apple.
Then we'll start talking. Give me every story that Samsung today because their quarter 2 projections are so brutal that they're
Listen, hey, there's nothing wrong with saying.
giving away $150 for the Note 9.
Here's what you got to remember. I mean, you can claim iPhone 10 all day that you want, but who makes the screen for
Said hear
Apple?
him.
Every iPhone 10.
All I'm going to do is Google the facts because you're not going to look them up. I'm
No,
gonna
here's
give you what I'm going
here's a real fact. The iPhone 10 screen is made by Samsung, so every Apple sale is a Samsung sale.
Here's a real fact. Did you know that 15% of all facts said on a podcast are actually made up?
That's not true.
It's fake news, bro.
No.
Fake news, bro.
Dude.
We could talk about the story about how
I'm as
Spotify
real as
is
the
now
Inquirer.
integrated into Google Clock.
Yeah, actually, that's real. That's one of my favorite stories from today right now. So, ever since Spotify came available in the United States, because I've been dreaming about it, because the UK had it for a very long time, and I wanted it. I love waking up to music. I way prefer any of those stupid alarm
I like waking up to a
sounds.
blowjob, but
It's still a job, though.
Someone's working.
can someone have an app for that?
Do you pay them for it?
No.
Asher has a Grindr app.
Socialism.
You guys ready for my app? I'm going to charge you 99 cents in the App Store. Hey, fucker, wake up!
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
An app you can't turn off,
Different fucking vulgarities to wake your fucking ass up.
Wake it up.
and you can't turn it
Wake
off.
it up.
So sorry, back on topic.
So Google is finally allowing their baked-in alarm clock with the operating system to play music from Spotify as your alarm.
So you hit the clock app on your phone.
Yep.
Go to alarm
Go to alarm,
and hit ringtone.
change ringtone, and then select a Spotify integrated song.
That's
and
awesome.
then boom, wake up to "I Hate My Life" by Theory of a Dead
I
Man.
should.
Wake up to Asher and Dave's folk favorites playlist. It's a real playlist, by the way.
Can't.
You look like a guy who likes
Oh, I'm all folk,
no.
man.
I can't cast it.
Yonder Mountain String Band all the way.
It won't work on this one
I don't believe
because
so.
it's a pixel. Reflector only works with Apple products.
Will it work from my MacBook? Because I have an Android emulator.
You could try it. You got to update the. It has to have the latest clock APK. It has the. So if I hit clock, or no, I hit alarm. Tomorrow,
ASD by
By
Dynamic
AirPlay.
Hack. Dustin's
Then I
on
hit-
top of it. He already had an app that does what Google just now implemented.
Oh, yeah, but having it baked into the operating system, that's the big news
Google,
today.
shut! I wasn't talking to you. My phone's just thing.
you can add your own. I don't see it on here yet. I got the Android P beta. Interesting.
Why would you have the beta? Because Android P is already out.
Android P is not.
Oh no, this
officially
is
out.
O. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
Dingus. Call me a dingus.
It is. It does not mean I don't have. It just means that I don't have it on my official thing yet. When we did that messages web app,
Yeah.
when we talked about that, I didn't get it until the week afterwards.
A week?
A week.
Wow.
I can do it now, but now it's not on there right now. I assume you're supposed to be able to hit, so you should be able to see that. I assume in just a regular clock app, you should be able to hit the default, and it would be right there in your default list, so you don't have to get a special app or anything. Is what I assume is that what they're going for. That's pretty
You
cool.
assuming bigot?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, hey, can I give a quick iOS 12 update that I'm really excited about? They finally are letting you turn on the flashlight through Siri.
Yes. Let's see it. Demo.
Turn on flashlight.
Yeah.
Okay, Google, turn on the flashlight.
Yeah, Google's had that forever. Super loud.
Can
Very-
Bixby,
very
Bixby turn on the flashlight?
Bixby can't do anything.
Can Android force touch and do 4 different levels of flashlight brightness?
I mean, I can force touch, but I don't know about the flashlight. Okay, Google, call Chase Raynock a faggot.
So, and thank you. That comes from our liberal person. Our very liberal person.
I believe in free speech.
What the left is really about. Goddamn liars.
Here's another thing I'm really excited about. Hey Siri, call Billings Public School District.
They didn't know what to respond.
One option I found is Schools Public on North 30th Street. Is that the one you're looking for?
That you can actually do that now? You weren't able to do that before?
No, earlier I said that and it called Matizzi School. And I was gonna like show off how terrible Siri was.
Siri's getting better at Google search.
Yeah.
Google Map, no, Apple Maps is.
Okay,
It
Google,
has to
call
be, yeah.
Kyle Nelson.
There's been a lot of Apple Maps cars around. Have you seen them?
They're redoing Apple Maps from the
everywhere.
ground up.
Yeah, so they're
Yes.
completely redoing it. I passed at least 20.
Because
of
I don't
them.
have Kyle Nelson in my phone. I just have Kyle's.
Call me.
Okay, Google, call Chase Raynock.
But now here's the real question. Will it call with Facebook Messenger? Can you have Google call with Facebook Messenger?
Okay, Google, call
I know,
Citizen
Siri can't.
Software with Facebook Messenger.
No go. No. That
Okay,
would be sweet.
okay, Google.
Right. Hey Siri, call Kyle Nelson on Duo.
I wish I could, but Google Duo hasn't set that up with me yet.
Oh, throwing shade at Google.
Wow. Fuck
That
you.
was some shade right there. Damn.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you can't get at least Alexa to be the built-in voice assistant, because
That would be cool.
Alexa, like
change
the
those?
Alexa works really good for their fire and everything else at home as a remote. No, because Google, they hate Google. They kicked YouTube out.
Right.
They also kicked Utah.
And Utah, yes,
Those liberal bigots
right,
hating
exactly.
on the Mormons.
Religious freedom.
Oh,
Exactly.
God. We need a task force for that.
That's true. What's the last story? One was from the Verge.
The Verg.
The Verge.
That's how Republicans say it.
The Verge. No, it wasn't Samsung's Q2 quarter results. Who won that argument, by the way?
No one.
Here's a really quick cool thing. Windows 10 is
I guess it's
baking in Windows Hello sign-ins into Edge, their browser, so that you don't have to use any passwords or usernames to log into websites. You can use Windows Hello.
Edge.
I know. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. But it would be sweet to not like ever have to use passwords.
if you had a Windows laptop, and it had Face ID on all the websites, would that entice you to use Edge?
Yes, actually, it would. Absolutely.
I would use Edge if I never had to type in my password and it worked
if
like Face
all
ID
of-
on an
if
iPhone.
all my work
Actually,
websites,
that's
Facebook, everything, just I could log into any.
It would probably be
Windows
my banking
laptop.
browser. It would probably be my banking browser.
It would probably be my default browser if just
Yeah.
every website I use on a daily basis is automatically logged in every single time. I don't have to worry about it.
Assuming
Sure.
the technology
nice.
works, you would do it.
Assuming the technology works.
Okay,
But that's also assuming that every other aspect of the technology works. Like it's the fastest browser. It's the blah. It's the,
let's say it's 100 million times faster than any browser you've ever used,
okay.
and it can predict all your thoughts.
I can block it. No, I'm not. I can't read it.
Second quarter revenue.
My eyes don't read bullshit. Fake news.
But didn't you said
I have this
the
implant
iPhone
from
10
Facebook.
had 25% of the market share.
In quarter two, they took 25% of the market share in quarter two in smartphone sales. Was the story I read?
Huh.
That he can't find.
It was. I read it. I have a very credible source.
It was a
I read it.
It was a legitimate news source, guys.
Fox and Friends told me about it this morning. That means it's absolutely true.
Rudy Giuliani tweeted it.
No, but I will say this about the login thing. I switched to Safari on all my devices just because of the
Actually,
iCloud
That's what I've been noticing.
keychain.
I've been using a MacBook at work now on a daily
Yeah.
basis, and yeah, that Safari.
It's
is
good.
actually
It's
pretty
good.
nice.
It's fast. It's
Yeah.
quick. The keychain's amazing. The fact that it suggests immediately
Of
passwords
its
for me.
sales. That's 25% of its own sales, not 25%.
I love how this
of the
argument's
market
still
share.
going on in the background.
Fake news. I've been studying fake news, and I will be the first to call myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
I read that wrong. So this is the exact headline that I read.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
Can you say that for the microphone?
I share fake news. Thank you very much, America.
Asher's always right. Asher's never wrong. There is several things here going on.
It's pretty crazy though that the Notch-inspired phone still has that much of its own company's market share like that. I mean, people thought it wasn't doing well, and it is doing well. I mean,
It is
they're
doing well.
They're making money off of it, and people are.
There's a lot of good stuff about that phone. That phone is a good phone.
Put it into context. 1/4 of Apple sales. So we're not going to say smartphone sales, but 1/4 of Apple sales,
Which is huge. That's massive.
Apple's earnings, not sales. Earnings. So that
Of
includes
sales.
analyst account
sales.
of sales. Okay, so not iTunes
So we're
stores.
talking their computers,
Hardware
all
sales.
their accessories, all their fucking phones,
All their ZEG protectors.
and that's a trillions.
Right.
That's still
Right.
a huge market.
No, that's massive market share. Like one thing Apple always does, they never need to sell all of the stuff They never need to outsell device-wise other companies because their profit margins are ridiculous. So they're profitable with so much less. That's the whole point of the Apple premium product. They make so much more on each device that they need to sell like a quarter of the number of devices from other companies to make more.
But why are they? And so here the question is, why are they making so much more? Why do people continue to buy Apple devices?
Because Apple's a cult.
Because we're sheep, all right? I'm a sheep. I'm a sheep.
As long as they work together, you'll still be a sheep.
I would go with the
Right, yeah, well.
and that they fucking put out, for the most part, great shit.
No, absolutely they
Have
do.
you ever watched Louis Rossman's channel on YouTube?
Oh,
Their
100%.
shit does not always
Kyle,
work.
I'm gonna let Kyle take this. Just go, Kyle.
We've sent several texts to Louis Rossman. He's a great technician. He's awesome. He's fought them in court about how they've copywritten their actual schematics, and their argument is basically that an Apple MacBook board is an art, and
It's a design patent.
and once you've changed it by literally moving a piece of circuit by rerouting it, you've changed that work of art. It can functionally do the same, but it's a different work of art. He always works. He came to fame because he just works through logical board repair. He can measure. He doesn't do. He doesn't have a huge. He doesn't have like an engineering degree. What he does is he just takes known working ones and works backwards from them. He takes a known working MacBook and says, "Oh, the feed here from voltage from here to here is what it should be. This is," and he works backwards from there. That being said, he's pretty anti-Apple and pretty anti. That whole ecosystem and their closed software innovation. But he is somebody who's made his whole life's work off Apple and their design. So I don't know what.
I think the thing that to dislike about Apple in this current situation, and like everybody says, their products work, their products are great. Their products are a lot like any other computer that costs the same amount as their computers do. They're high-end technology and it works really well, but it doesn't always work. Things can go wrong with their products, and Apple's stance on
But
repair
here, I'll stop
is
you with
horrible.
that. That's a hyperbolic statement. Saying a lot of people have problems because they control their supply chain so perfectly and they serialize everything. They can say they don't have a huge problem. That's how they don't warranty things, and that's how they minimize issues, because they can say for sure that it's only affecting 1% or 2%. Apple buys all their same products that everybody. The iPhone 10 screen is a Samsung screen. They bought it from Samsung, but what they do different is they have quality control. They test everything way better than everybody else. They make sure. We just had a salesman come and they do tests on screens, and Samsung screens, 1 out of 25 of them will have a 5% variance in the Infinity display, whereas Apple's is down to 3%. Meaning all Apple phones have 3% of a less of a difference through three-dimensional scanning, and Samsung's is 1 in 20 or 1 in 25. It's a huge difference. So their main thing is they're a design company and they have quality control, and with their quality control, they catch things.
But it's still, that doesn't excuse their behavior when their stuff does go wrong.
Machines where the battery was punctured, phones that were run over by a car.
3%.
They offer all of these services on a regular
3 out of
basis.
100.
That were damaged far worse
Samsung's
than
was
Linus's
1 out of
iMac. So why would
25.
they offer that service to Linus's iMac? What they do
1
is
out
they
of
simply
25,
charge you a ridiculous amount of money
4%.
for the repair, assuming that they're going to have to replace everything. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing for the past 10 years. So why is it that repair option that they're so eager to offer my customers every single day is an option that they didn't extend to Linus? Now, a lot of people are also going to say,
Oh, you know what? 3%. It was 1% because 3% was the One Plus T screens, so it was 1%. Anyways, there's a percentage difference, and what they do is they can charge more because less of their stuff is defective on the way out. Is the way they see it. I mean, they have numbers to back it up. They serialize everything.
But it still doesn't excuse how Apple acts like about you.
I mean, do you
repairing
believe
your
they're
own device.
falsifying numbers?
to not take in cases
to
that have a
downplay
very,
a
very
public
increased
response to
level of
things?
You're still completely ignoring the point that I was trying to make, that Apple is completely inexcusable behavior when it comes to you wanting to repair your device if it doesn't work. Yes, they have less devices that come out that ultimately don't
You
work.
think they should be
but-
forced to repair somebody's device?
If it stops working, absolutely.
Or at least open up the ecosystem.
Or let other people
Yeah.
repair
At
their
least-
device.
Yeah.
So what if Tesla? What if you damage a Tesla beyond all repair?
No, we're not talking. We're not even.
In some cases, we can't offer it because we can't get access
Yeah,
to it.
because we're not even saying that. We're not
I've
talking
always,
about you damaging
what
it
I'm
yourself.
saying is, I'm telling you, this is what Apple's argument is. Yes,
But we're not even talking about you damaging it yourself. We're just saying it stops working. Like a capacitor just blows up on the board. Apple doesn't want you to have the schematic so you could fix it yourself.
you don't have the right to force labor. You don't have the right to force Apple to fix anything for you. If your device, even if it's defective, what I'm saying is, if they're selling you something with a warranty, and we can both equally say that this was defective and this shouldn't have burnt out. But if Apple's arguing with me that it didn't burn out and it's defective some other way,
Okay, Kyle, you buy a car. You buy a GM Suburban, right? And if something breaks on it, you take it to the authorized GM service center. So now your fuel pump goes out on your Suburban, okay? It can't pump from. So now you take it to the authorized GM service center, and the GM service center says, we won't fix it. We won't fix it. And you go, okay, well, can I get a fuel pump to tell you someone who can? No, you can't.
I mean, Chase brings up a good point. What about
not to get government agents to force those people to fix my device?
No. I'm with you.
Look at the 6 Plus, a known defective model of the iPhone, and
Right.
Apple decided we're not.
That's something that you're going to want to do.
So I'm saying the 6 Plus, they sold a defective unit. They should have fixed that one. Yes.
If they had fixed this machine,
No. What the Louis Rossman thing and the Linus Tech Tip thing? What I'm saying is, Apple refused to fix his iMac Pro because they said they didn't have parts and they don't have a repair service for it, and that's how this whole thing got started. And people were saying, well, Apple should be forced to fix this guy's iPad Pro, even though he broke it. No, it's not that. They should fix defective units that they sold as working units. Yes, they should fix defective units. They should not have to be forced to fix units that I broke on my own. Now, we can disagree on whether I broke it or it was defective.
I feel like Apple.
talking about the quality control
But
that OnePlus doesn't
right,
have.
because I feel like Apple is with their logic boards.
The schematics being legal to buy and being public source. No, is different. The schematics being legal public offerings is different than forcing somebody to fix it.
A lot of people that watch this channel that are on the fence or don't dislike Apple may have went out and bought
You
the
don't
machine.
you don't see the separation between forcing an Apple employee to fix your iPhone screen and giving them a schematic so they can fix it themselves.
That's not
You don't see the
that's not
difference?
what we're arguing here.
Get tossed right out the door.
You said, should Apple be forced to fix
No, I
people's
didn't say
phones?
that.
From a marketing point of view, this is suicide. Here's what I want you to let sink in. Lenovo's a company that I've lambasted and insulted.
They
and downright
actually
cursed out many
wrote
times
code
over the past 4
so
years.
aftermarket screens would not work,
Redesigned
and they knowingly
the
did this.
supposed
Are we in
retro
agreement with that?
last year. Well, after I spilled
They made
half a
the
gallon of
new
water
screen.
The update, no, here, so let me be real clear on this. They made the update so when a certain update came out,
New
before
screens
people-
would be incompatible.
and before these screens worked, but after this update, them screens are incompatible, and they got such an uproar because there's so many people who have repaired iPhone 8 and 8 Plus screens that they had to fix it. And they do this.
State
And they-
your question, I understand.
And they have a pattern of doing things like this, of wrecking phones only to fix them.
Okay,
with the
that's
F7.
fluff. They have a pattern of wrecking. Okay, I get it.
Okay,
I hate Apple now. Now, what's your
No,
question?
that is not. And don't say I hate Apple. That is not what. That's not
What's
my
your
argument.
question? I
No,
agree on the facts that they did.
I'm just laying the fucking pattern down of what they do. So to say that they are going to
One
willingly,
anecdotal evidence is not a pattern of behavior.
is there
Yes,
one?
sir. Thank you, sir.
Can we
We'll
point back
fix
to
it, sir,
different
regardless
software
of what
things
you
that
did
they've
wrong
done
to
through
it,
the
even
life
though
of the
you have no
iPhones
influence in your
that
favor?
have absolutely
think that
borked
they treat you
aftermarket repairs?
Wait, are you asking? Are you?
Say,
useless. Isn't he?
Are you asking me that to say now that Apple is for the repair people? Because I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that to take a phone to any business and force them to fix it is ridiculous. There should be an out. You should be able to. The schematics should be legal. The work of art of the board.
Chips, supplies, ultrasonic, flux, soldering stations, and more. With 4.9 stars on Shopper approved. Same day shipping from New York City.
I'd love to explain it to you.
Shipping over $30.
The functionality of the circuit board does not need to be a. No. Would you let me explain?
Let's
If the circuit board is considered a work of art and changing any minute property of it changes that work of art, I'll agree on that. But we can also agree that if I reroute some cables and components visually, it won't be that same work of art, but the components will contain. You see what I'm saying? A full schematic is different than a partial schematic.
Okay.
You're tampering in a capitalistic society. You're tampering with their product.
You're not
to make it work.
So if you go out and you buy yourself a copy,
I'm not purporting
you
that
buy
it's
yourself.
Apple. I'm not purporting that it's an Apple product.
So if you go out and you buy yourself a copy of the Mona Lisa and you want to hang it on your wall, but you're like, you know what? I don't like her eyebrows, and you decide to change. Nope, that's illegal. You are altering a work of art, according to your argument.
The Mona Lisa is not copywritten, not trademarked.
You just reference work of art. Let's find
You can own.
So give me one work of art that is.
If you okay, you cannot copy. Can you copy? Can you copyright infringement?
Okay.
Statue of Liberty has been copyrighted by the U.S. government, has it not? But yet it is still used as a piece of art in fucking many different ways.
I don't think you understand copyright. Who's making a monetary gain off using the work of art and purporting that it's their own and making a monetary value?
Okay.
Off the,
Statue of Liberty was the wrong argument.
in the case of the Mona Lisa, if you bought that at auction, it's yours legally. You don't need to copyright
Then so
it. It's
is
a
your
piece-
phone. If you buy your phone for the price for $900, it's your phone, and if you have to alter it to fix it, then you should be able to. That back to the original
I'm
argument.
not saying the schematics. I'm not saying the functional units of the schematics shouldn't be available. Do you understand what I'm talking about reworking a board? It doesn't have to look exactly the same as the original board,
Sure.
and it can function the same.
Sure.
So you're not purporting it's Apple. You're not making money
It
off
should
an
be illegal
Apple
if you do that and then try to sell it. Like here's a better board for your MacBook. Like
Right.
that,
If you put
I
a
get what you're
different
saying.
engine in a car that you're purporting is,
But should it be illegal for you to do that for your own
but you put a
device?
different engine in it.
Should
Like
that be
Shelby?
illegal to do for
Yes.
your own device and then keep it as your own device? If
you
you
can-
own the device?
Yes, you should be able to do anything you want on your own property.
Okay, that's what I've been trying to get to.
No, what you're saying is that they should make it illegal to Apple. You're saying that
Apple seems like they don't want you altering their devices at all or fixing them, and yet so that's the problem. It's like they act like they don't want to give you the tools to be able to fix your own device. Yet, and in certain circumstances, they're not even fixing the devices when it's a problem with it.
We have this experience with that iPhone
But-
7. We know that thing was very repairable. All it
I just can't believe you think somebody should be able to walk into Apple with a smash-fucked phone.
No, that's
and,
not what I'm
and
saying.
force them
I'm
to
saying
fix it.
that my phone stopped working out of nowhere because of
you
default on the chip. You should fix this because it's a manufacturing defect. I'm not saying because I smashed it, you should fix it. No, that's not what I've been saying. I'm saying for manufacturing defects.
I do use that as a parallel because if you're going to use it for parts,
But
it's very easy to
You can rework a board.
I'm very much agreeing with Asher on this one.
You can rework
right now.
the screen. You can put a new piece of glass over a screen, doing the same thing. So please give me another argument.
No.
If I have a broken piece of glass,
I think we need another argument. I think we're good on arguments.
I think we should say this has been a very interesting episode of Sips and Software. Want to
Two
thank
sips.
There are several episodes that the conversation continues without us here. So if you want to hear us talk about board design patents more than the last 40 minutes that we've been talking
Intellectual
about board design
software
patents,
copyright law.
then follow our second podcast, Sips and Lawsuits.
Libations and lawsuits.
Libations and Lawsuits. There it is. We got it. We have it.
That is
Copyright.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Patrick.
I'm Asher.
I'm Kyle.
We'll see you next time.